Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Sudis Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Sudis. That's right, folks. Welcome to Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis, financial advisor, retirement specialist, and the founder of Sudis Financial right here in Central California. I'm your host, Spike Spangle, and also my co-host today, Kristen Oakley, two financial educators. And you know what, Dale? You've got two broadcasters for the price of one today, helping you out. Oh, yes. Kristen, how you doing? I'll start with Kristen today.
I'm doing great. I am so excited to be back in the studio with both of you. It's going to be a great show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mr. Dale Sudis, how are you doing today? What's on your mind?
I'm doing great. I like this because that way I don't have to talk so much. I just let you guys talk.
How's
that for a good idea?
But hey, it's all about you though, Dale.
Yeah.
It is.
No, actually, I had a really nice week. One of the last appointments this week just sticks in my head. And I was just excited for them because they came in a week or two earlier with their basic info, their goals. And, it was interesting because he wants to retire yesterday. He wants,
he's ready.
He's ready. And she's okay to keep working for a while. He's not, he won't be 59 and a half until next year. And he's concerned about being able to draw from his retirement accounts and such, thinking he has to keep working and things. And they have quite a bit saved up in 401ks, their tax deferred bonds.
Can you give me a ballpark? What are we looking at?
Oh, we're looking probably total assets, close to $1.5 million, let's say.
Okay. All right. Now, is that the liquid assets? Are you including the home in there? Because when you're doing retirement planning, I know you think a lot about income and how much they're going to have. So was that their total? Because folks, our listeners out there, want to let you know this is what Dale and the team do is we kind of figure out, are you ready to retire? Now, 59 and a half, he's not even there yet. He's 58.
But he's ready.
He
wants to. A lot of Americans relate to that.
No, and they're a wonderful couple. I just love visiting with them. And I look forward to seeing them. I love their smiles. And I actually worked, what's interesting, I helped him with his mother, 10, 12 years ago, who was in a nursing home, and we got her on that program, and, we protected assets and such. And he remembered and thought, with retirement coming up. And so they came in, like I said, about a couple weeks ago. I got all the details. I've been crunching numbers with the view of wanting to retire right away. And the money I was talking about is probably whatever it is, over $1 million is without the real estate, without their home involved, just the liquid. Even though, I had a sheet that had even other things listed, but just what they need to provide for their future was what I was working with.
Now that's a good number. And I already have a bunch of questions. Is $1 million the number that we're all shooting for today? Or does it depend on their monthly expenses? But one more question on that head, because you said that she was ready to continue working. About how old was she? Because he's 58, it sounds like. And is she much younger or same age?
58, 3 years different, so 55. Okay. I'm going to say 55.
Okay.
Of course, I told her she's only 29.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. It's like, how can you be ready to retire? You're only 29 years old. Very well.
They better not be listening because they might connect a dot who they are. But,
well, we never use names, right?
Yeah.
We just like to use stories because people see themselves in those stories for sure.
The names are Yeah, the names are changed to protect the guilty.
No, the names are changed to protect the retirement. That's
Yes.
what I usually say.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. So no,
Okay.
it's
So this
really neat
was
because
yes, go ahead. This was like their second meet because you said you collected
yeah,
some.
second visit.
Wonderful.
So and my goal, like I told them when they came in today, was I want to just show them a rough idea, based on their goals. And if you want to retire, you can, and you should see him light up when I said you could retire right now if you want to,
Wow.
and you're not going to run out of money. And he just
Oh
and
my.
he looked over at her, and she's like, she had that look like, what are you going to do?
Aw.
If you retire, more of, I don't know
Right.
if I
I
want
need
to
you out of
retire.
the house sometimes.
Yeah. And then it was more of well, the honeydew list, big smile on her face. She'd
That's
get
funny.
the honeydew list. I said, yeah, that's good. So anyway, so I worked up for their goals, I actually had to manipulate the software a little differently than I normally use. So I had to kind of jump back and forth inputting things to be able to provide the income they want. But what was exciting was, he can retire. They can have the income they want. In fact, I inflated it above what they were asking.
Mm.
And I projected out to her age of 101, just
Oh,
to,
wow. Yeah.
I want to see, will their money last?
Mhm.
And yes, it will. They had, when it projected out, if they keep doing what they're doing with that goal of retiring, let's say January of 24, then they would have a 79% probability of success on that plan. And that's not exciting to me. That's what 79 would be, like a C plus, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I know that. I'm familiar with that number from college.
yeah.
Spike.
Yeah, me too. That was last week, I think. Now, if you believe that. Okay, so ended up, I showed him, okay, if we do this and that, we position a portion of it to provide some guaranteed lifetime income, just a portion of of his retirement, leaving most everything liquid and keep it balanced, better as far as managed better. Then it took the projection to, and I included doing Roth conversions of, let's say, 80% of their qualified, tax qualified or taxable retirement money, which is probably in the tune of 800,000 if we converted it to Roth, paid all the tax on it while we can, over an 8-year period. And by the time she hits 101, they have like 24 million left over.
Wow.
Which is, they don't need that. They don't even, that's not their goal of leaving some giant legacy to kids, grandkids, or anybody else. But it just gave them more flexibility on their plan. And it was definitely a lot better, 100% chance of success, even though it's no guarantee. But I like having 100 on that projection versus a 79.
Yeah. One thing, because I'm curious, and for folks out there who are listening, boy, I'd like to be able to retire too, and I have a decent amount of savings. Maybe I can. First of all, please talk with a financial advisor, more importantly, a retirement planning advisor who does these projections. I've got a hole in the theory, though. What about healthcare? Do they have enough saved? Because they're not able to really turn on Medicare until 65. And if we're retiring, 60, 59, were they able to pay for the medical expenses you think out of pocket in your plan?
Well, that was a good question. That actually came up right away, because if he did, he could switch over to her, be on her health insurance.
benefits.
Because she was going to keep working. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the negative of that was her employer doesn't pay anything towards his, and that cost is a lot higher than if he went out and got health insurance on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So it would probably be at his age, from what I've heard and talking to others who we have that specialize in that for our clients, it'd probably be about $600 a month instead of $1,000 or $1,100 a month through her employer. So he could get it. We build that into the plan. Even if she wanted to retire before 65, we could do it. So
Yeah,
their plan would work.
That's so interesting you say that, because I know a lot of folks continue to work just for that reason, to save on healthcare costs until they reach 65. But what a blessing that there's some ways to work the plan, that if someone is ready just to be done working, that's still possible.
Well, contrast it. Think about it. A while back I had somebody with a whopping 200,000 liquid saved on top of whatever else they had, property wise. But her, she's single, and for her goals, that would work. And as she was already, Medicare age and getting Social Security, but for her goals, we set up a system where she could count on having income, to age 100 as well. So it's not, again, that $1 million, I saved $1 million. No, it's what your goals are. Now, in this particular couple's case, they have plenty to be able to manage with or without waiting till 65.
Yeah. One more follow-up on this couple here, and thank you for taking us through your family, your client case study here. When in these projections did you have them turning on the Social Security? Did you delay?
That was it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to throw that out. To their surprise, I said, I'm going to push your Social Security, delay it all the way to age 70 for both of you.
Okay. Why? Why is that? I know the growth, but why in this case?
Yeah, because by doing that, by the time they hit age 70, it's going to cover probably at least 2/3 of their income goal, even down the road. So, and they have plenty of other funds to provide income through that period of time.
Fantastic. Well, folks, if you are listening out there and wondering, can you retire at 59? Hey, every single family situation is completely different. We don't know how much more they saved. One last one, Dale. Did they have the house paid off already?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. See, everybody's situation is different. You might still be in the middle of your mortgage. Before you take advice of, hey, I think I've got enough savings, I heard this great radio show, I'm going to go ahead and retire early. Please sit down with a financial advisor who does these projections all of the time. This was the fun part of what Dale gets to do, is being able to look at somebody and say, yes, you are able to retire. But I want to know, Dale, before we go to break, what do you think he's going to do? Is he going to go ahead and retire right now, or is he going to work a little bit more?
Well, definitely he's going to work a little bit more, but I put him today, I said, we're not pouring anything into concrete. We're not making something permanent today. We're just, I want to throw some ideas out, show you some ideas. One of the things that helped them, they were able to see that Baby Boomer Dilemma movie. So they understand the power of certain tools that will enable their income to last, as long as they need it.
Yeah. Dale, we got to take a very short break right now. For our listeners, please listen to the message following this. But if you'd like to sit down with a retirement planner and find out what retirement could look like for you, when would you be able to do that? When can you jump off that wonderful cliff together as a couple and go, no more working? We get to say that every single day is a Saturday. If you want to know what that would look like for you, give us a call right here. There's no cost to sit down with Dale and have him do what he did with this couple. Sit down for a couple of meetings and see what retirement would look like for you. Call 833-856-1382. More Retire Your Way with Dale Sutis right after this.
Are you worried about taxes eating into your retirement savings? By engaging in savvy tax planning, you might be able to create greater tax efficiency in your retirement plan. At Sutis Financial, our team of retirement planning specialists can help you explore tax-deferred and tax-free investment options, as well as strategies to help potentially minimize your tax burden in retirement. Don't let taxes derail your retirement plans. Let us help you create a tax-efficient financial plan and work towards maximizing your savings and minimizing your taxes. Call Dale Sutis of Retire Your Way and the team at Sutis Financial today to learn more about our tax planning solutions. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Sutis, the founder of Sutis Financial. He is a retirement planning specialist right here in Central California. I'm Spike Spangle, and also joining us is Kristen Oakley, one of our financial educators, just like myself. And
We're both taking on Dale today.
We are.
And I mean, he's got a wealth of knowledge, so hopefully we can hold our own. But Kristen, you had some stuff that you wanted to ask Dale about. I really liked it because I'd like to take a deeper dive through today's program. What is it that you wanted to ask him about?
Absolutely. So Dale, I know one of the things that you're really committed to doing is helping folks navigate today's often challenging financial environments. And I think a lot of the economic headlines in the past year have made all of us, stop, pause, take stock of just, are we using the right investment tools to help us navigate these economic headwinds, if you will? But the good news is I know there are financial strategies that are suited to address these uncertain times. And obviously that story you just shared in the first part of the show that. So I'm excited to get into some of these strategies. And I know that it's so important to educate people on the different types of investment vehicles that are out there that are available to help folks really reach their financial goals. And so that means that I want to talk about the A word today with you, if we can, which is annuities, right, everyone?
Annuities.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think,
I knew it. I knew it. You were going to say that.
Good one. Here's the deal. Before you're tempted to change the channel, I know that annuities often get a bad rap. And this is why it's so important to educate about what kinds are out there, the different ones that are available. And more importantly, would an annuity product be right for you? And whether we like it or not, all of us, annuity sales have skyrocketed this year. I think as of now, the last I checked, so far in 2023, annuity sales have hit almost $183 billion. So that's my first question for you, Dale, is what do you attribute this surge in annuity sales to?
Well, yeah, you hit the head on the nail. Is
hit the head on the nail.
Hit a nail on the head, whatever.
Wordsmith, Dale.
Yeah, you meant what I knew, right?
Yeah.
All righty. And fly times when you're funny.
On the wrong syllable. Come
right.
on, let's get this.
Yeah, that was it. Well, anyway, the annuities out there annuities period get a bad rap. People, regularly tell me I hate annuities. My dad said never get into an annuity, and and that's okay. I understand. People have heard negative things over and over and over, but they don't understand that in certain cases they can be very effective in your retirement. And the increase is because people are getting more educated and they're realizing, okay, there are types of annuities that don't have fees and that don't have stock market risk and do have decent returns. So there's other features of annuities that people need to be aware of that you cannot get with other types of investments. So if I may, I had one lady not long ago, a couple weeks ago, she was we're reviewing her goals and everything. And, right away she told me, I hate annuities. Oh, okay. And so I just kind of let that slide by. And I just, not that everybody needs one, because certainly everybody doesn't need one, but it was fun. I said, okay, now I got a little bit of homework for you to do. And I gave her the basics of what I needed on her budget and stuff like that. And I said, okay, now since she had her notepad there, okay, write this phone number down, 1-800-772-1213. And I want you to call that number. Well, who's that? That's Social Security Administration. And she was already getting Social Security.
Right. Okay.
So I said, call them up and tell them you hate annuities and stop sending me that Social Security.
And how did she like that response?
She kind of looked at me funny, like everybody does anyway. But but the point is, what is Social Security? It's a guaranteed lifetime annuity. And had she had a pension, I would have told her, call your HR or call that company and tell them to stop sending you the money because you hate annuities. So understand, annuities have their place. Now, again, they're not for everybody. You don't throw all your money in annuities. That's silly. But again, if you don't want the ups and downs, the craziness of the market, then you're going to use tools that can still give you safety. And, you don't. For instance, if you and Spike are retired, okay, like I just saw a gentleman this week where we set some accounts up and we're specifically using an annuity that is an indexed annuity that gives him the upside of the market without any downside. So it has a floor of 0,
Which
right?
I'm sure is so attractive to so many folks, especially after what happened in 2022 with the stock market, right?
Yeah, as well as
Mhm.
in 2000 and then
Mhm.
08, 09. Okay. So he has a big chunk of money just sitting in the bank. Nothing of his portfolio is tied in any way, shape, or form to the stock market.
Mm.
And I just looked at him in the eye, says, "You're retired, right?" "Yeah." "Okay, well, you have too much money that's also retired. You work too hard
Mm.
to leave." So we put a portion of it into something that provides safety
Mhm.
and potential good growth. In fact, this particular strategy would give him 3 times what the index, like the S&P 500 futures index, goes up. If it goes up by 3%, he'll get 9 added to his account. I
Mm.
mean, there's some neat strategies out there. I mean, that
Mhm.
now don't hold me to what that would be down the road, because the company's offered various participation rates, caps, and spreads, and all that nuts and bolts stuff. But
Yeah, because we talk about protecting your wealth, and I think that's one of the biggest things. But when you've got your money just sitting in a bank account, even though today interest rates have gotten better on money markets and even CDs, um, is your money really safe there when inflation is still at 5 or 6% and you've got to pay your taxes? And are these safe accounts still really safe if you're losing out against inflation?
right, your money's going backwards, right?
Right, you're
Is
going
what you're
broke
saying.
safely, right?
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. So you can have more potential, and some of these even have 4 or 5% um, fixed
Mhm.
rates, like a CD, if you wanted. So, uh, we'll probably get into, because I put it on the sheet there, the different types of annuities.
Yes, I
Oh, yeah.
definitely want to ask about that because here's the deal. We all know, the three of us, that there are different kinds of annuities out there. Not all annuities are the same. So I'm excited, Dale, for you to give us a proper education about them. So let's go there. Let's start with talking about the different types, and if you wouldn't mind just going through the different types of annuities and educating our listeners about each one, that would be great.
Well, I think what gives annuities a bad rap is what's called a variable annuity.
Hmm.
Um, but they have their place. And, well, because first of all, you have a contract with a life insurance company. That's who holds, the custodian of an annuity contract. And so you're naturally going to have some of these benefits, the mortality charges, whatever. You're going to have some fees because it's an insurance product.
Hmm.
Then, because it's a variable, so you have investments, and those investments are going to have fees. So those can add up to easily, three. I've seen as high as 7%
Wow.
per year
Yeah.
fees. But don't. I mean, that might sound terrible. I don't sell them, never have, never will. But the point being is that there are certain things that you get with those that you don't get if it's just an investment. So
Mm-hmm.
there,
Hmm.
you got to weigh the benefits with the cost as well. So
Sure.
a variable annuity is what typically, when ones say annuities are bad, they're
That's what
talking
they're
about,
typically referring to, right?
right.
Mhm.
Because a fixed annuity is kind of like a CD with the bank. You get a fixed rate for a set period of time.
Okay.
Fixed annuities have 0 fees, and they
Mm.
guarantee a certain rate.
Mhm.
They're backed up by the strength of a life insurance company. Okay. And, we can go into the different types of guarantee or safety guarantees, that they provide. But typically, life insurance companies, they have to keep more in reserve than what you give them.
Mhm.
So, as far as you give them $100, they have to keep a minimum of $104 liquid to be able to guarantee your money's there. They usually are owned by a bigger mothership, as I call them, who have to back them up. And if they're not, they'll buy insurance from another insurance company to cover what they owe. So it's called reinsurance. So there's different levels of safety built into those contracts. So a fixed annuity, 0 fees. A
Mm.
fixed index annuities likewise typically have 0 fees unless you add certain riders on them. and they might have a small fee. Some of those are like right now, I have ones that might have a 1% fee, whoop-de-doo, because they have some benefits that you can get out of them, right?
Mhm.
Like guaranteed lifetime income rider. All annuities allow you to what's called annuitize, which you give up the principal in exchange for guaranteed income for either a set period of time or for lifetime or for joint lifetime. So there's a variety of features, but the guaranteed lifetime income riders I like better because you're not giving up the principal in exchange for this income. Yes, the principal's decreasing as you take the income, but if you die before that principal's gone, that principal still passes on to your beneficiaries. So, and two, you can't outlive it. When the principal's gone, the income keeps going.
Hmm.
So you're kind of leveraging your own savings, although again, annuities at times have gotten a bad rap. I know that I have a bunch more follow-up questions. Kristen does as well. We've got to take a very short break. Real quick though, for our listeners out there, if you suggest a certain type of annuity tool, this isn't the only thing you do though at Sudis Financial, correct? Because there are a lot of other radio programs, television programs out there that are honestly about pitching this kind of stuff. We're just talking about it.
Right.
We don't know if it's the right tool for you. Is this the only thing that you do at Sudis Financial, is talk about these kinds of tools?
Absolutely not. You need some money liquid. We might set up different accounts, like managed accounts, where you can minimize the risk, but still have it liquid available to play with as well.
Okay, we'll continue that conversation about your managed assets. How do we create a safe floor and a constant income stream that you actually cannot outlive when we get back from this break? But if you would like to get your own retirement report, it is complimentary from Dale Sudis and the team. All you got to do is reach out here to the phone number, 833-856-1382. It's not going to interrupt the program. It's going to go over to our call center, and we'll set up an appointment during the week for you. More with Dale Sudis of Sudis Financial when we get back right after this.
How do you know if you're retirement ready? That's a question many people ask themselves as they approach their golden years. We believe the answer can be complex and depends on many factors, such as your savings, monthly expenses, and lifestyle goals. At Sudis Financial, we can help you determine if you're retirement ready. We'll work with you to assess your financial situation, identify any potential income gaps, and develop a customized plan that aligns with your goals. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Call us today to learn how we can help you work towards achieving financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Sudis and the team at Sudis Financial for your complimentary retirement readiness review. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Do you know how you'll generate income from your investments along with your Social Security in retirement? In our opinion, it's never too early to start the income planning process for your future. An income plan can help you work towards creating a steady stream of income to support you throughout your retirement years. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Take control today and start income planning for your retirement. Call the team at Sudis Financials to help you live the retirement you've always wanted. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Sudis of Sudis Financial. He is a retirement planning specialist right here in Central California. Right now, we're going to continue our conversation about annuities. It isn't all that Dale does in the office. We talk about everything about building income, making sure you're not taking too much risk, taking a look at the fees in your investments, like taxes, estate planning, medical choices, how that fits in with the long-term care choices that we have here in California, which we did a whole program on. But today, we want to stay in annuities because they can be confusing. Dale, you said something where you compared it to Social Security, and I liked your story about that. Say, if people say, I don't like annuities, well, then call Social Security and tell them to stop paying you, because it's kind of the same thing. But another comparison to the Social Security, one of the rubs I used to hear on annuities is that, oh, well, if you give them a chunk of your money and then you pass away, that insurance company keeps your money. Just like if you pass away at Social Security, your Social Security stops. For you personally, if it was just you, maybe you'll get the spousal benefit and continue. Is that still true with the annuities of today or with certain annuities?
Well, it's a way you set them up. If you give an insurance company a chunk of money, let's say $100,000, and I want lifetime income, whatever your age is, they're going to determine that because they know the actuarial tables, how long you might live. And so, yes, if you set it up that way, as a annuitization for life only, and you die a month later, that money's gone. So why would you set it up that way if you know better?
Right.
So you can annuitize for life with refund, which means you put your 100,000 in and you live 2 months, and whatever's left over is refunded to your beneficiary. So there's a lot of variety, but I typically don't show people how to annuitize. That's not the usual. I usually show people how to use the income rider that now insurance companies have developed that can be part of your annuity contract. And these income riders, once you turn those on, you're not locking up the principal. In fact, let's say you turn your income rider on and you're getting income, and great. Some of these companies, in fact, one started a system where if the underlying index goes up, your income increases by the same or even a higher percentage of that interest income. So you can have not only lifetime income, but you can have income that grows through the years, helping you to keep up or beat inflation.
What if it goes down? I'm sorry.
If the index goes down, no, that's good. Good question. Index goes down. It's just like with a fixed index account or annuity period. If the index goes up, you can participate in the upside. Now it's your money. Once they put it in your account, it's your money. Until you reach in and take it out, your account can't go down. If the next year the index drops, you stay there. You get a zero. That becomes your hero. Now the index resets at that lower, wherever it went down to. And as it climbs out of the hole, your annuity will go up, but not down. Same with the income once you turn it on. Yet what we're talking about is now you've used the income rider, your money's in the pot. Yeah, it might be shrinking a bit. And you say, Dale, I need, X amount of dollars, which represents, let's say, 5% of whatever's in the pot. Yes, your income might drop by 5%, but it still continues, and as long as you live, and continues to have opportunity to increase as well. So you're not giving up the pot of money until it runs out. But then whose pocket are you in? You're in the insurance company's pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot outlive that income. But how do they do that?
Yeah, how
That's
do
the
they do
question.
that?
Yeah. You remember?
I'm guessing because they're big insurance companies with billions, if not $1 trillion or so, and they've done this once or twice.
It's not magic, okay? It's my favorite story was Tom Hegna. He gave that story of the 5 90-year-old ladies, remember, in the Baby Boomer movie. He said they all would go on vacation together. They're on vacation. One of them says, hey, let's each of us put $100 in this box. We'll tape it up. Next year, whoever's here gets to open the box and share the money for their vacation. And they thought, oh, that's a good idea. And so they put the 500 in, they taped it up, and you know what happened the next year, right?
I'm guessing somebody passed away, or
no, they forgot where they put the box.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's how Hegna puts it too. But anyway, the point being, yeah, one of them passed away. So now they open the box, and there's 4 of them. How much money do each of them get out of the box?
Well, now what? 125, right?
All right.
Okay.
So think about it. How much interest were they making on that money in the box?
So on their personal,
how much was being credited? Was it in the bank getting 5%? No,
but they're sharing.
How much risk were they taking?
Only the risk of losing the box.
Yeah. Okay. So zero risk, zero interest. I didn't think about that one. That's good.
Just Mike to come up with that.
That's why you have me now.
Yeah. Can we mute his mic?
No.
All right. So they each get 25% on their money from something they didn't earn any interest, no stock market risk. And how did they do that? It's called mortality credits. And yeah, it sounds kind of negative, but the reality is people live different lengths of time. So once the income or once the balance in your account goes to zero, the income keeps going as long as you live. It's a guarantee that insurance companies can do because they're pulling a bunch of people together. That's how your Social Security, kind of works. And that's how pensions, the pension ABC company you retired from, they give this chunk of money. And most people know it's an annuity they're getting. It's lifetime guaranteed income. So you're not necessarily having to lock all your money up or give it all up. And no, it does not have to be gone just because you're getting income from it. You got to know how they work.
For sure. Well, this is so helpful, Dale, because I think there is so much confusion out there. And as we've already stated, a lot of folks just tend to lump this word annuity into a whole bunch of things without being able to really know the specifics. But you do know the specifics, and you're able to look at someone's situation and say, would this in fact be a good fit for you? Yes or no? And then, okay, what kind? How do we structure it properly? So now that we've kind of talked about the different kinds out there, what do you feel like is the most important thing for folks to understand about these different kinds?
Well, again, the main reason we like annuities in an income plan is to provide income. Right? Think about it. If your Social Security and or pensions are not covering everything you need to pay your month in,
if you have an income gap,
bills,
right, as we call it, right?
Yeah, your paycheck, playcheck. If it's not enough to cover that, then why not use a portion to create some additional guaranteed lifetime income? Now, if your income is covering all of what you need and want, we're not talking about the care yet, but if it covers all your main needs and your bills are covered and it's guaranteed lifetime with whatever other sources you have, how does that free up your mind with any other money you have?
Yeah.
You don't have to live that just in case something happens.
Right. It's not a strategy of hope. We know that's not what people want.
I mean, what we don't want you doing is simple.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they think about their retirement. I'm going to buy the boat. I'm going to travel here. I'm going to do all these kinds of fun things, join the country club or whatever, get into these hobbies. And when they retire, what do? They don't do any of that. They are just in case, and their money, grows. Great. It keeps growing. And then what happens? They die. And now the kids get the money. And what do the kids do? They buy the boat. They join the country club, they travel, they do all these things. I don't want my families to live that way. I want them to enjoy their retirement. And if it's done right, they can end up passing on, a decent amount. Because again, a lot of people say, Dale, protect my principal, give me some income, and if you can, grow it a bit. And sometimes by implementing a system of guaranteed income, your other money can sit and grow because you're paying the bills, you're goofing off, having fun. And just like that example I gave at the beginning, they only have $1.5 million, but it grew to over 10, 20 million possibly by age 100 because we didn't factor in all these extra things they might want to do now that they know they can.
Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the important things I would love for people to take away, especially our listeners, is that getting an actual retirement plan, an income plan, a spending plan, it takes away that guessing. I've heard that a lot from financial advisors, that when people say, if they ask their older clients, do you have any regrets or, things that we could have done better? And they say, no, not regrets about what I saved or what I did, is that I wish I enjoyed some of this money more, that I lived the life that I made. And to be able to do that, just having a written plan, it's
such
called,
peace of mind.
It's called your spending plan. It's saying you know what you can spend. A budget tells me it's more like a diet. It says what I can't eat, right?
Right.
A budget, or it tells me what I'm not allowed to do. But your spending plan says, hey, this is $6,500 a month or $7,500 a month. If you spend that and enjoy your life, you're still not going to run out of money. And that's exactly what you can show them, right? You actually print it, you do these iterations so people can see it for their own eyes, right?
Right. And the couple I was talking about at the beginning, they said X amount of dollars is what they felt they needed. I inflated that up a bit, and then I even threw in the care check like I always do without them having to buy long-term care insurance. And they still don't run out of money and their assets can grow.
Wow.
Right. Well, folks, if you would like to get your own retirement report, your own written income plan, your own spending plan for retirement, One of the ways you can do that is reach out to us right here. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. And that's going to go over to the call center. You're not going to interrupt us here. More with Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial right here in Central California when we get back right after this.
For your own tailored written financial plan for your retirement, call Dale Sudas of Sudas Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Will you outlive your money? It's a scary thought, but it's a real concern for many people. In our opinion, that's why it's crucial to have a solid retirement plan in place. We believe that with proper planning, you can work towards making your money last as long as you do. Don't wait until it's too late to start thinking about your financial future. Call Dale Sudas and the team at Sudas Financial today to learn how we can help you create a retirement plan that can potentially help you obtain peace of mind and security for years to come. Don't let the fear of running out of money in retirement keep you up at night. Take control of your financial future today. Start your Retire Your Way review and financial plan by calling 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Sudas, financial advisor of Sudas Financial right here in Central California. We're talking about the different kinds of tools that can provide you not only consistent, but reliable income. In fact, income in retirement that you can't outlive. But I'd like
Sign me up.
Yeah, I'd like to throw over to my wonderful partner, Kristen. You had a follow-up for Dale.
I do. Yeah. So obviously we're talking a lot today about annuities and what you need to know about them and how do you know if using one might be right for you. And Dale, here's my question for you. I recently took a continuing education course that kind of went through, helping financial advisors understand how to figure out if an annuity is suitable for an individual. And so I'm curious, are there certain questions that you tend to ask people to help determine if an annuity would in fact be in someone's best interest? Or how do you go about determining what the right course of action is for someone?
Well, that's a good question, but I don't really have a set of questions focused on annuities because it's just one of many different tools, that you can be used. So it's, again, we're going to look at the whole picture. What do you have? What do you want? Is there a gap in income or a system where we can use an annuity possibly to make sure not only you have that extra income, but then your other assets can be, kept growing however you want to invest them. But there's no set, and not everybody needs one anyway. So
right.
I don't really have a set question or something.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's good because it just speaks to the fact that everyone's individual personalized situation is different and it's not a one size fits all approach.
How about
you got to be careful too, because there's some that would want you to put all your money in it. A real quick example, I ran into a lady, a family I knew, and she was a widow now, and somebody came in and claimed to, work with me. They didn't. And said, whatever I say is what Dale would tell you. And she put all her money into an annuity, basically. But she felt kind of funny about it. So she called me and said, no, I know who that person is, but no. And why did you do that? You have all this stuff you want to do. You have no reason to use an annuity. And fortunately, she was within the time frame. So I called the company with her and got her money back, without penalties or anything.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm sure that was such a gift to be able to do that for her.
Yeah, they're not for, you don't put all your money into them, and they're not for everybody.
When you don't put all your money into any one investment ever, right? I mean, that's kind of investing 101. You don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, unless I give you my deposit slip, you can put it all there. Oh, did I say that?
Well, that leads me to think, Dale, because we've talked today about how a lot of folks hear the word annuity and they immediately just shut down, right? They say, I hate annuities. We've talked about how that perspective can shift when people realize what the right kind of annuity product could possibly do for them. So have you ever worked with someone who came into your office and said, Dale, I hate annuities. I want nothing to do with them. But then it actually ended up being in their best interest to have one? Has that ever happened?
No, it could never happen, could it?
I'm just
Um,
curious.
Just take one quick example. I had a little lady from many years ago. Okay. I've
Hmm.
been in the same office complex right on Shaw since September of 2000. And
Wow.
it was probably right around that same year. I remember a little lady I helped, and she worked in a factory locally. She saved, saved, saved. She had gobs of money. That's a technical financial term.
Mm-hmm.
And, she paid her bills by getting a money market at the bank. She didn't even have a checking account. The word annuity, I can't even say it how she said it. She couldn't say it properly.
Aw.
But I was seeing that all of her money was just tied up in the bank, really kind of retired, and
Hmm.
and and interest
Not
rates were
doing anything
higher.
for her,
Yeah, I
right?
wasn't doing.
Yeah.
And she would jump from one CD to another, or stuff like that. So when she retired, we moved her 401k to an IRA in an annuity,
Hmm.
fixed indexed, and we put some other non-qualified money, non-IRA money, into another annuity. And it was funny because sure enough, as time went by, actually it might have been before 2000 because interest rates were starting to drop then, and we laddered her money into three portions in each of the annuities. So she would get a credit on a third of her money potentially each year. And one year she came in and she got a zero, thinking, well, I got to close this and I can move it over here and get 3% at the local credit union. And I said, okay, but let's look at how it's been doing. And it averaged 6% a year, even with that 0 year so far. So I said, why are we going to do that? Doesn't make sense. She agreed. So then the next year, another zero, because that was when interest rates were really dropping.
Hmm.
And so she said, okay, I need to do it now, and I can get 1.5% at that credit union. And I said, okay, with 2 0 years, you've averaged 4% a year. Do you really want to do that? How about we
Hmm.
wait one more year? If it still gets a zero, I'll have the paperwork ready.
Okay.
She said, okay. So the next year she came and things started to rebound. And for that 3 year period on that portion of her money, she made it went up by almost 30%.
Oh,
So
wow.
on that one little portion, yeah, but
Hmm.
it helped her to see that there's some serious potential. She never.
Right.
The thing is, you could also say that about the markets. You could say that about how interest rates affected the bond markets last year. We've talked about this word throughout today's program, but it's really just one of the tools. Maybe, if you don't mind, you could expand a little bit on what is like a complete review for you, how, and determining, does somebody need an annuity even if they don't like it? Because while somebody might not like an annuity, somebody else might come in and say, I don't like the stock market. I don't want the ups and downs of the stock market, or I don't want my money being put to sleep. You've got to hear that kind of stuff all the time. How do you walk people through the emotions of their money to get out of their own way and help them with their own plan?
Well, what triggered right away with that question at the beginning was, okay, the money on the market could drop, but then you have to wait for it to rebound to get back up to where you were, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes having a floor of zero, like in these fixed index annuities, that can be helpful to eliminate that risk. It still boils down to, what are their income goals? What do they need?
Hmm.
You could use a variety of tools to get there, but what's going to be the most effective?
Right. Well, and it sounds like, it always reminds me, we use this analogy a lot in this industry of, you're putting a puzzle together. And it's almost like people come in to meet with you and they bring in all their puzzle pieces, and you get to dump them out on the table, and you got to figure out how to build the puzzle for them. And it's a very individualized, customized approach.
Yeah, and one size doesn't fit all, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Give
So
me
that's another thing I was going to ask. Dale, before we wrap up today's program, I just want to go through maybe just for our listeners out there who are still with us, even though there are those who don't like annuities, but we really wanted to take a deep dive look into them today. And I thank you for not only your examples, but your answers to help us, both me and Kristen, understand. A couple other things, though, we didn't hit on. Illiquid. I've heard these things are illiquid. I put my money in there. I can't get my money out. Is that true or false today with the annuities?
Not necessarily. There's a number of compassion clauses, but bottom line, most annuities allow you after the first year to take 10% of whatever you've put into it out without any contract penalties. Now, again, they have to give you, if it's a non-IRA, they have to give you the interest or income out of it first. If it's an IRA, obviously it's all taxable, but they have compassion clauses. If you're in a nursing home, or some of them even allow you to liquidate major chunks for other things of that sort, like if you need long-term care, I should say.
But the point is, it is a contract. It's an insurance contract. You explained to us how they're able to pay us such decent fees of 4, 5, 6 because of the mortality rates. But then with the liquidity, let's say we put in 300,000. You're saying like next year, if for some reason we had an emergency at 10%, 30,000.
You could take 30,000 out.
30 out. Okay.
Now let's say 3-4 years into it, you say, Dale, I need 40,000. You're going to take 10%, or excuse me, 10,000 out during the penalty period. You might lose $500-600 to get an extra 10 grand out. By then you're losing some of your earnings. But think about it compared to like a CD. You lock a CD up for a year or 5 years or whatever. You usually can't access much or any of it. And there's sometimes, bigger penalties. So,
the same thing.
It's just a contract. It's a contract.
Yeah, your investments. You're not going to.
And you don't put all. Yeah, you need liquidity. I make sure you have liquid money over here to play with. And the insurance companies won't allow you to put all your money, good ones. Well, they're all good.
Okay.
Won't allow you to put all your money into them.
What about some of those riders? Are there riders? I've heard everything from long-term care or the income. Are there riders that you think are valuable to your listeners to ask about in these annuities? Or do you not like it? Do you only like it for the growth and for the income?
I actually had one couple. She was just insistent on having something to benefit them down the road, her primarily for long-term care. So again, not being confined to one company, I had my I researched. I found one company. I've never used them again, but she put $100,000 into this annuity, a fixed index annuity. Actually, no, it's just a fixed annuity, and it triples for the purpose of long-term care, and she's actually using it. So it's paying 6 years of her long-term care. Wow. And, she's getting a lot more out of it than she ever put into it. And had she not used that for the long-term care, the money plus some interest would have gone to the beneficiaries.
Would you consider this for someone who is worried about long-term care costs and it depleting their savings, not just for themselves, but maybe for their spouse as well? Do you sometimes suggest these? And I know we're broadcasting all around California here, so this isn't a recommendation, but do you like to use those for long-term care, or do you still prefer something like a long-term care standalone policy?
I'm not a big fan of long-term care standalone policies. I would rather build in, sometimes I use annuities because we could turn extra income on down the road if you need it for the care.
Right.
Or those ones that I talked about that have increasing income, if they started early enough, by the time they hit their mid-80s or so, when they might need care, they might be having so much income coming out of that it covers care and then some.
Okay. Well, Dale Sutis, thank you so very much. Kristen, you want to say goodbye to California before we leave today as well?
I would be happy to. Well, Dale, Spike, it's always a joy to be with you. And for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for listening. We hope you have found this to be educational and valuable. That's how it's intended each and every week. But again, Dale is here for you. He would love to meet with you. The team at Sutis Financial are here to walk you through. While some of this stuff might be new to you, it's not new to Dale and the team at Sutis Financial. So to get your own complimentary Retire Your Way plan, it's really simple. All you need to do is call 833-856-1382, or you can write to Dale directly at info@sutis.com. That's info@SOUTAS.com. For all of us here, thanks so much for listening. We look forward to being back with you in future weeks.
As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale and his entire team of retirement professionals invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement plan review session. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your very own retirement review session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees and risk, or how to produce guaranteed lifetime income so your lifestyle and goals don't have to be changed with the ups and downs of the market or taxes? Call Dale Sutis with Sutis Financial and be confident you can retire your way. Schedule your own comprehensive and complimentary retirement review session. Don't just live in retirement, thrive. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional. All rights reserved. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and legacy planning strategies with your legal and tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies.